Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video on Python for ethical hackers. In this video we'll learn how to use functions in our program. So you would say that, Mr. Hacker, before using a function in your program, do make us understand what a function really is and why do we even need a function that our program is working pretty fine. So at this stage in our Mac Changer program, we don't really need a function because our Mac Changer program is working pretty fine. But later, when our code gets really complex and we do have a load of like thousands and thousands of lines of code, then it would be really difficult to maintain and manage our code and scale our project. So for that reason, we need a function. We need functions because we'll create for each small things, or like for each small functionality, we will write separate functions and we will use that in our program. Later on, we will create a separate file for all of these functions and then reuse that in this file. Like we'll create one separate file for the function and then we will import that in another file and we will use it. Up till now we were using functions, but you were not sure what a function is. Like when we were using the input function, so input was indeed a function that required two things. The first one was the argument, and it did return like it was having a function name by the name of input, and it required some arguments, and that was it. That was just a simple function, example of function. So what is a function? A function is a set of instructions that carry out certain tasks and that can take an input and return a result. Why do we even make functions? We make functions in order to make our code cleaner, reusable, and more abstract. We also, when we are willing to scale some project or make our code readable and proper, we use functions. So as previously discussed, input was a function that prompted a user to enter certain value and then return back or stored that value in the variable specified. So how can we declare our own function? Like input was a predefined function. So how can we declare our own function? We can declare our own function by writing def, which is a reserved keyword, and then function name, and then provide certain arguments. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you want. And then we can call that function from our code by calling the name of that function and then giving it two values, 2 arguments or 3 arguments, whatever we have defined in the function declaration. So this was a short introduction to a function. Now let's write one function in our program in order to make you fully understand what really a function is. So in order to declare a function, we write def as discussed and then the name of the function. This could be anything you want. So in my case, it would be it is a function for changing MAC address. So it would I will name it change MAC address, and it will receive 2 arguments. The first one would be the interface and the second one would be MAC underscore address, and then colon, and then whatever I want to include inside this function, I will indent that with one tab. So I want to include this print statement as the subprocess.call, first subprocess.call, second, then third, and then the fourth one. So all of the lines indented at this indentation would be included in this function. So now if I run the program, now if I save the program and run it from right over here, which would be Python example.py, you can see that it ran the program and nothing happened because we declared this function, but we never called this function in our code. Like all of these statements is included in this function, which is never called. So now after this function, in order to call the function, I will write change underscore MAC underscore address, and I will provide two things. The first one would be the interface that I want to change the MAC address of, so that would be option, and I'm not passing these interface and this MAC address to it because it's not usable to declare variable and then pass it to the function as well. So that we can directly pass this interface from the option, and we can also pass the MAC address directly from the options. So that is pretty much it. We have called the function, we have declared the function. Now we can remove these statements, and if I save the program, come back and try to change the MAC address by writing python example.py -i eth0 and -m00:11:22:33:44:77. Press enter. You can see that the MAC address has been changed, but like it was working previously the same way, but now we do have more usable code with having a function in it. So let's go through the code once more. Our main objective for this video was to declare a function or to create a function for Mac for changing the MAC address, which was change MAC address, and I included all of the statements that I was willing to include in this function, which was the print, first subprocess, second, third, and fourth subprocess .call function. And I then called that function by writing the name of the function and passing the required arguments to it. So let's save it. Let's run the program once more, and instead of 88 make the MAC address instead of 77 make the MAC address 88. So this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you did learn what is function and how to declare it. So whoever is subscribing newly, welcome to them, and whoever is our old subscriber, welcome back to them in our channel. Stay tuned because really awesome content is coming up. I'm planning to do a video on the dark web. I'm also planning to do a video on some Linux basics. So stay tuned. Also do remember to subscribe to our channel. Also, if you learned something from this video, do give it a thumbs up. So until next time, stay cheeky breeky, enjoy hacking, peace.